There we go. Now we have sound. Hello, everyone that is not there. Okay. Thing on Slack before I start. Okay. Let's also do a thing. Setting up all of the things. Alrighty. Enough setting up. Let's do this thing. So we're looking at this nice little thing called script object singleton, which is a bit of a, not a hack, maybe a bit of a hack. It's a nice class that you can use to cache your objects, back them up into actual serialized data without having to manually do serialization in Unity when you don't have them in the scene. It's pretty small, but it needs cleaning up. This is the Get It for Unity project where I have this little class, which is right here. Get It for Unity, and the script object singleton is in here. So I'm gonna put this in a Unity project, and clean out the stuff that's actually Get It for Unity specific, and then so that I can actually show what it does. So this is MIT licensed, by the way. If you want to copy this code, you can just take the license here, or as I'm going to do, you can just stuff it on the top of the file so that you preserve the license. Sure. First thing we do is let's create a little script here. This is an empty Unity project. Maybe I should change the size of the, no, go away. Go away. Change the size of the fonts here. Scale things a bit. Scaling all the things. Unity looks horrible. Wow, font rendering sucks. But hopefully it's more readable. Font rendering, FTW. Okay, let's go back to, so the first thing we want to do, create a script. Which is going to be script object singleton. Plop. Let's go. Hello. There we go. You're slightly confused, are you, to Visual Studio? Visual Studio is slightly confused. Slightly. It'll fix itself. Dum de dum, pum pa dum pa dum, dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. No, oh, I need to really disable it. I've disabled this thing so many times. Sort that one out. Why is it not loading the project? Don't care. Cares I have them not. It's loading. Don't care. I really don't care. It's not like Visual Studio is going to be compiling anything. Okay, let's wait until it sorts itself out. There we go. Go away. Cool. So this is the class that we just created. We don't want this. We want this, which is the class, the script object singleton, that does the magic that we want these two. Okay, I'm gonna copy this over and then I'm gonna fix it up so that it actually compiles, and then I'm gonna talk about it. Copied. Yeah, fix yourself. Okay. Visual Studio is just not wanting to work today. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna take out some things that will not work properly here, and then fix it up. This is silly. All of these things are silly. Reminds me to fix this code because this is all very silly. Very silly. Directory exists. Okay, so I have a little thing in thank you, Shift key. I try. I have a little thing in the Git for Unity project that handles all IO for me, so I can actually abstract all of the IO. I don't want to copy all of that, which is why I'm just rewriting all of this stuff, so it doesn't do things. It's very handy library, but it's actually not needed here right now because I just want to. It's like there's nothing here that requires any specific file handling beyond just creating that little directory. So I think that's it. This will compile. No, this will not compile. There's some things here. I'm gonna comment out this and I will explain all of this in a moment. I'm just taking out stuff that is not relevant. Is not what I want. That is what I want. Not what I want. This is what I want. No, this path. That. Okay. That is the Unity project? No. The assets path. Okay, so what I'm doing here, this is going to store a file inside the library folder inside the Unity project. Let me just, I never know where things are in Unity. Okay, yes. That's what I want. So data path is the assets folder. We actually want the folder above it. I can't remember if Unity has a thing that. No, that gives us that path. No, but we can just I'm not sure if this has a ending space. Let me just take out. Fix this code so it both compiles and then I'll explain. Actually, just leave that for now, and we can just do that. Ignore that. Let's ignore it. I just want to get this compiling. Oh, card. Wait. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so what does this do? So this is a scriptable object, which means it's backed by, it's known by Unity and handled by Unity, and can be serialized by Unity, but it's also a scriptable object, so it can be saved in the scene, and Unity will take care of recreating it if it doesn't have one and you request it, which is the important bit. So the scriptable object, this is the base class. You never create one of these directly. You're going to subclass this thing. And then you're going to access it, your instance, through T. This is going to be the singleton. So what happens when you subclass and ask for the instance of your subclass? If the instance is null, it's going to create and load. Create and load is going to get where the serialized data is going to be saved on disk, which can be either in a known location, or if there's no known location, it's going to be on the temporary folder, because that's where Unity puts all these things. Now, all of these files only exist when you request them the first time. Unity creates this instance and gives it a random name, because if you don't give it a specific path with this location attribute that I have here, it's gonna just use the temporary folder for this with a random name. And then it will, if it doesn't exist yet, it will do create instance. So this is just a Unity method that's going to create an instance of this object. It's going to mark it as a hide and don't save, which means it will survive domain reloads, not going to be thrown away. And then save. And save will save to a file. With save to serialized file, forget. Or null if it's not null. If there's no file path, Unity will take care of this for us in the temp directory. So what happens is this thing I'm just gonna show you by subclassing from this file, and we're just gonna have a little script here. First run. Let's go first run. So why is this thing useful? This thing is useful because no idea why this is not opening. Because it's, yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna close this down. Let's try this again. This time with feeling. It's not working properly. Open with. I think it's just being silly. Okay, so the problem that we're trying to solve, go away. This is not working. It just doesn't want to. For some reason. I don't get it. Clearly has all the files. Doesn't? Unity just break? Of course it did. Of course it did. Of course it did. Because why wouldn't it? He broke. Unity broke the things. Come on. Open project. There we go. Okay. Better. go away. Okay. So why is this script object singleton useful? So the thing with Unity is that whenever you edit any file or cause a compilation of some sort or enter into play mode when you're previewing your game, Unity shuts down all of the scripting engine and reloads it back up with the new DLLs that it just compiled or to clear data or whatever. This makes it really hard to figure out when it was well, first of all, it makes it really hard to keep data between these domain reloads without having to rerun all of the commands that give you the data in the first place, which is really annoying. It also makes it really hard to figure out when, if this is the first time the Unity is run because the users actually run Unity, as opposed to Unity just randomly throwing away everything and reloading everything, because it makes it really hard to control lifetime of things in general. It's a problem when you're trying to do editor extensions that will keep data and UI between the editor mode and play mode, and just generally knowing like why, when things are happening. So this script object singleton is how you fix that, basically. Let's first of all first run. This is a first run. Actually, this is a editor script, and the other one is an editor script, so I need to put them in an editor folder. Let's do that. These are editor scripts. Hello, Unity. Wake up. Editor script. Of course. Of course. Why? Nope. Oh, wait. Okay, editor scripts. So let's do initialize unload. So this is going to be called when the editor first runs. Well, no, whenever the domain gets loaded, which might or might not be when it first runs. But this is on a different thread. So what we want is a method that we actually call, and then the callback delay call. Okay, so this is just gonna, when this is first created, when the editor decides to create things, it will get called. It will schedule this method to be called on the UI thread, which is what we need. So this, let's go running, so that we know when this thing actually runs, so we can test when this thing's running. And going into the console. Running. Okay. So running, right? It because it got recompiled, so Unity just unloaded the domain, reloaded the domain, and created all the objects again. So now I'm gonna do that again. Play mode. Running, which is awesome. We stop. Let's reopen, let's save the project and reopen the project. So this is technically the first time it's running. We want to output this message only on the first time it's running. Because ideally, knowing when you're running for the first time versus when you're entering play mode or when recompilation happened is nice. Running. So that happened, and then, you know, every time running. Fun. So how do we figure out that this is the first real run and this one isn't? With script object singleton. Okay. Now we have this guy. Ignore that part. Ignore all of this. We really want just the script, basically. We want to inherit from this guy. Yeah. Okay. So this may look weird if you haven't used this pattern of generics before. This doesn't mean that it has to be created in order to, like normal generics, you have to have a type defined and then you can put it in there, and this feels weird for some people seeing this for the first time. This is just a string, almost treated like a string, a forward declaration. It doesn't have to exist. It just has to be something that will be defined later. And this is used so that when we get to here, this is first run, which is a scriptable object because it inherits from this guy, which is a scriptable object. Slightly inception here. This is actually going to be typed first run, this instance, so that this field is going to be the most derived class type of whatever you're sending, whatever is here. So now it's inheriting from script object singleton. For all intents and purposes, nothing changes here. It's still a scriptable object, mono behavior scriptable object. So this is a scriptable object. Nothing really has changed much. So we can let it compile, do its running thing again. Running. Alrighty. So now the interesting thing here is that I'm just gonna make this protected so we can look at it through the subclass. Static. Yes, create it. Null, and then yes. And this is going to create the second one. Gotta love side effects in a log format. let's do this. But it was, no, it was empty. There's a little space over there. And then there's a type that got created. Did you notice that it reloaded the domain, but the instance is no longer empty? Not sure if you've noticed this, but it is an interesting thing. Let's open the project again. Save it. Save and open. Do an actual first run. Wait. Waiting for Unity. Did Unity just crash or something? Yep. Always good. You can do this. There we go. Okay. So the first time Unity runs, the instance is null. And then when I call instance with a big I, it goes, yep, it's null, and create and load, which goes here. Basically goes here and does this. Now, the second time it was no longer null. And this is the first run. It just got recreated, but the instance is no longer null when you access it. And this is this guy. That guy is no longer null, even though Unity's just thrown away the domain and reloaded everything. So, which is why we got the static constructor being called. This is happening because the hidden flags, hidden row save, and also actually save. It doesn't do anything because there's Unity. Even though it threw away the C# object when the domain got reloaded, it didn't throw it. It actually saved it because it's a scriptable object. So there's a serialized data exists somewhere in the temp directory inside the project. So it's here somewhere. Actually, it's probably in memory until Unity needs to throw it into disk. This means that when the object gets recreated, Unity just loads all the serialized data that it has in memory for the object because it recognizes that it existed before and automatically fills this in, which means it's not null after the very first time that you created. Unity knows about it, which means tracking whether this is the first time a user has ever run Unity or this is a domain reload or a play mode entering is just a matter of doing something like and then this will cause the thing to be created, triggered. And then you can do that. I saw that. So again, save project, Open project so that we can see, assuming Unity restarts, we can actually see what's going on. Yep. 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 Running for the first time. There you go. So now we know exactly when Unity is first started, as opposed to whatever else it's doing that needs reloading. So that's trick number one for this stuff. Now, like if you've noticed, since there's no location attribute on this class, all of this is empty. All of this is this code is not gonna be running. This code runs. And this code doesn't run. So like literally there's no save. The only thing that it's doing is create instance and hide flags. That's it. Nothing else. And no load serialize and file and forget. So this is all in memory for Unity. And the code is really simple. Like literally the only thing that it's doing is these two lines. These two lines are enough for Unity to keep the object in memory and recreate it when the domain reloads, which is enough for us to know that, yep, this is a reload versus a first run. So now the other thing, the reason why the rest of this code is going on here is because for the caching situation, when you want to survive data that is not on the scene, it's an editor data. You have UI, you have like UI gets saved by Unity just fine, but you have backing data that you want to save and reload whenever Unity throws away all your C# objects, basically. And you just want to use the serialization system because why not? It's right here, and everything else uses it, so it's decent enough. So that one works on top of this with this location attribute. So now we can do, let's this is where I wanted to put this into a library folder, but I want to put this, I want to make sure this file does not get added to the Unity project, but gets added to not the SS folder because it's going to be tracked if it's like a file in there. If it's in the SS folder, I just want to put it outside the assets folder in the library path. So what I want, just gonna do a hack here. That works. Heck. Okay, so the location attribute we can put here. Location attribute. And we can just call it cache, our cache. as a string. Hey, let's do that, and then my file system will be happy. Library. There. And now this is gonna go. Hopefully I did the math right. And now all of these other all of these paths are gonna actually work. So let's do that and see if I did the paths right, and it creates the file. Library. Nope. This is the point where I debug just to make sure that I actually did this properly. And load. Oh, also, yeah, the instance is never null, so it's never going to create the file until we restart Unity again because it's in memory. So let's restart Unity. Restarting Unity. There we go. See? Complaining. Right. Where's quit? Wait, I don't want you moving things. This is the problem of having the temp file. Well, now we know where the file is. Right here. Let's kill this. This is not being happy about us restarting while there's still temp files going on. Either that or I forgot something, which is not surprising. Yep, I forgot something. Did I forget? Go away. Thank you. There, maybe the original code has subdirectories. Maybe that's the point. Oh, actually. Oh, yeah. That's the problem. Yeah, that's wrong. This is a bug. We don't want to create the directory as a file. We actually just want to create the directory. What's the magic? Get directory name. There we go. That one. That one. It was trying to create the directory. Well, it wasn't trying to create. It literally created. Directly called. That's not good. No. Not good. That. Did a directory as a file, and then obviously things didn't. Again. There you go. Bugs. What are you doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? God damn it. Yeah. I need to throw with the. There we go. Okay. Feel that. The code got compiled now, hopefully. Running the old code. It's a problem. running the buggy code and doing silly things to recompile, but for recompiling it actually needs to load, so it's a bit of a chicken and egg thing. There we go. Alrighty. So this does that. So still the first thing, still the same exact thing, but now instead of being in memory with Unity, it's actually it actually exists on disk. And it's right there. This means you can still track. Let's kill it. Now that it's compiled and working properly, let's run it again. You can still track the first load because the instance still needs to be created. Like when an instance is null, that means Unity has not created this object in the lifetime of the session. But it does mean that now you can load data with it, as opposed to just tracking whether it exists or not for the lifetime. You can have data survive across Unity restarts. If you don't have it on disk and it's only on memory, it will not survive Unity restarts. All the data in it will be lost. But now that we have it on file, we can just add things. Let's do last time we ran. And we can do last time we ran equals datetime offset. Now UTC now to string. You always want to give it a very specific format, because if you load this data in a machine that is running on a different locale, or even the same locale but like the same machine, sorry, I'm answering things on Slack. So someone asked, when was this location path attribute added? This is on GitHub for Unity. So you can go to GitHub for Unity /Unity and then do T and scripts object singleton right here. This is the same code that I'm using right now. I just took out the stuff that is using GitHub for Unity specific, like this guards and these things, entry points, and log helper. I just took out that code, so it compiles without that. It doesn't really need it. Maybe I should just take it out, but it's nice to have. So it's one of those. Anyways, I was ranting. Oh yeah, always specify formats for this, because otherwise, when you run a different locale with different months and days in the date, this will throw. Always load and save things with a very specific locale. Hours, minutes, seconds, I'm gonna say. Seconds. I don't know. I can't remember. I think that's it. There. What are you complaining about? Yes, you're correct. The real instance is what we want. this will have no, of course, was no the first time, and alrighty. Okay, so only got set on the first time, so we'll never have this. Yep. Again, open the project, assuming it works. Oh, come on, Unity. Unity. Just drink to that. Yummy. Okay, the last time we ran was, we have no idea. Let's look at the file though. Is that the file? I think it saved. Oh. Yes, that's the other thing. I said it, but I didn't save it. And I kind of have to save it. Otherwise, it's not going to be flushed to disk. This guy only saves to disk right here when it gets called as save to disk. So we need to save. So this would be, the way I do it is a property. You set the property. You do this. There. Kind of important. Pop. Kind of important. Yes. Kind of need to save. Here we go. What time is it? April to 12:55:15. Yes. 55. So the reason why it's set, even though it's not in the file, is because it's in memory. Unity knows about it. Of course, it won't survive me loading the project again. So it only, this data is not anywhere. But it will be. As soon as Unity decides to. I detect a pattern here. Unity being silly. You can do this. I believe in you. There we go. Okay. So yes, the last time we ran was empty because there's nothing. But now we have data on disk. So this was the last time. 12:57. Yeah, more or less. I'm 2 hours ahead. And that's UTC. So this means we're gonna go ahead and do that. And do that and do that. It never gets rewritten because that's what we like. And now we open the project again. Assuming Unity can do this. Otherwise, I'll just do it manually. This is the last time. Oh, it's just loading and unloading. It's so weird. Come on, Unity, you can do it. Never mind. Yeah, there we go. That was the previous time. 12:57:49, but now we have a new timestamp. So yay, so data that survives across domain reloads, even Unity restarts. So we can track Unity restarts, we can cache data between Unity restarts, and we can cache data between Unity reloads, basically. If you want to keep data around but not save it to disk, just don't call save, and it will be kept around in this object. Of course, if other things call save, everything will be saved. So ideally, what you want is to have this object, because it has this thing, will persist across Unity restarts. So all the data that is in here will you assume they will persist, because if anything calls save, everything gets saved in this object. So you'd have objects that don't persist, and so you can have multiple layers of caching. You can have objects that don't persist on disk, so they will only live throughout a Unity session, from the point that you start Unity to the point that you shut it down, and everything gets cleared after that. You can have other objects that survive Unity restarts at a project level. So this one, for instance, like it's saved in the library folder, so it goes with the project, with all the things that are in the project. You can, if you want to have this actually, tracked in the assets folder, you can. Or you can put it in project settings and treat it as a serialized settings that you control. Just don't put it specifically in temp, because that's managed by Unity. Don't do that. You can if you want to have it cleared at the end of the Unity lifetime, but if you want to do that, you just don't save it to disk at all, because that's what Unity is doing by default. If you want something that survives across projects, like for instance user settings that are for your extension, this is what the other paths that we have in GitHub for Unity are for. There's you can save it to the preferences folder if you want, but like the user folder. So if you want a cache data, like exactly the same thing, it lives in the exact same way, but it's saved in the user folder app data for Windows, for application support for the Mac. You can set this is, and then the file will live there, and then whenever Unity loads the file, we'll read it from there, which means you can have user settings in the same exact format. You don't have to use different APIs to have editor preferences or user preferences, or like cache data that's temporary or cache data that's for the project. You don't have to have different things. You just need to set objects with the data, and then you set where they live, and that more or less defines their lifetime. Basically, this is basically defining the lifetime, because of the location where they're being loaded from. And yeah, once you have that, you can do whatever you want with this. You can save whatever data you want, just like any other scriptable object in modern behavior. We have some interesting extra things that we have to have for saving more complex data, because you can't have polymorphic types and things serialized in Unity. But we fixed that by we have a serializable dictionary in GitHub for Unity, so you can take that. Oh yeah, speaking of the license, if you copy this, just do that. Just do that on top of the file. If you copy code from this repo, just do that. Just stuff it in there, and you're good license-wise. it's easier. Serialized dictionary will give you will transform your dictionary into keys and values and make them serializable. So you can subclass this guy and have data that's a dictionary serialized form. There's also a bunch of stuff, blah, blah, blah. There we go. We have array containers. There's a thing that's a serializable dictionary. We have a little string array container for storing different types of arrays of the specific type that you want. We have some nice helper code to do that. And a bunch of different things that different approaches to serialization. All of these are things that we cache. You can see the location. Things that we cache whenever Unity reloads the main, because like we don't want to run. And in the case of GitHub for Unity, that runs git commands like git status and git log to load the UI. We don't want to load that every time Unity reloads, but we also don't want to just keep the data on the UI side, because there's multiple different things that use the same data, and we don't want every window or UI to just rerun the commands over and over again. So all of our data is serialized in these script object singletons, and then the windows can consume that for the UI. So which is why we have all of this stuff. All of the branches and all of these things are in here. So I will clean up this thing. Let me clean this up. That's good enough. Actually, I don't have to clean this up. I'm just gonna put it up. I didn't set up a repo, but I'm gonna put it up on a gist. Yeah, I have to log in. Don't look. I will put this up so you guys can copy paste if you want, as soon as I can figure out where's my two-factor auth codes for logging into stuff. There we go. You just... copy paste programming, best programming. Yep, there we go. I don't know. Plop. There we go. Goes in there. And goes in there. Goes into all the chats. All of the chats. All of them. Not sure if this one is useful. Probably is. Probably. Add a file. Probably. Feels like there's, yeah, weird. Okay. I'll probably post a project somewhere, but right now it's probably useful like this. There. In the chats of the streams. Hopefully you can see them all everywhere. Should probably just have, I just remembered I could just go GitHub, create a gist. Sigh. I could have done that and it would have been like more, I suck at this. Oh well, because yes, I completely forget about the things that I've actually written. Sigh. So yeah, that was today's tutorial on how to survive data between in Unity reloads. I'll be hanging around a bit more if anyone wants to ask any questions. I'll be on chat and all the chats. Like I have too many chat windows right now. I have no idea. So yeah, say hi and ask questions. I'll just sit here and stare at the camera. I'll drink. Speaking of drinking, while you guys are looking to see if you want to ask any questions, I have another project that I probably should work on because it's a holiday and not working on a holiday. So where did I put the thing? I'm just gonna go work on this one now, which is, in case you're wondering, it is a Neverwinter Nights remake because it's a, you know, it's a light project. Ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. I have everything running except Slack. Ba-doom, ba-doom. Okay, push. Here's a question. Where's I'm gonna switch microphones now. This is voice meter, by the way. Hello. Yay. Voice meter is the most amazing thing. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, so this is something completely different, which is Neverwinter Nights remake. Where you can build your own game at runtime and script it all up and do all of the fun things. Of course, now it's not really doing anything much. I'm trying to remember where I left it last. Go with that. That one loads. Weird. Weird stuff of weirdness. So the question is, if people go into the chat, they won't see these links that I posted on the chat, will they? Probably won't. I need to figure out how to actually do chats properly on Twitch. I'm not sure how that works. Okay, so what was I doing? What was I doing? I have no idea what I was doing. Okay, that's what I was doing. A prefab button spawner. That's what. Okay, script editor. There we go. Okay. So what I was doing was spawning a prefab at runtime and then letting you script it. So showing the UI for scripting the object at runtime. Go away. That means which, and this is the thing that I'm spawning right now. That means oh, that means there's a thing missing here. Why is there a thing missing? Why do things break randomly in Unity? Pretty sure I set something up so that it would load the separate. Pretty sure I set something up. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, right. Like Unity's just gonna... Isn't Unity loading this? There's a project missing, and yes, and Unity's supposed to load it, but it's not loading it. All of these files are compiled in a separate project that Unity is supposed to create. Something is broken in this Unity. So the latest. Am I missing the Unity tools? What the hell, Unity? Guessing I've been doing this. Guessing I've been doing this in on my laptop. Is what it is. So things are set up on the laptop properly. Apparently not here. But also, like, Unity's not doing it properly. Unity should be creating the solution with the three projects, not two. There's the project missing there, which is probably the same thing that Unity was doing on the other project, which is why the solution didn't get loaded. Something is broken. Something is broken. LTS. Yeah, let's do LTS. Why not? It's the same. It is the same. It's the same version of as 2017.3. Sigh, but I don't want to upgrade the Grumble. Grumble. It's right? The latest one. It's annoying me to no end. Why is this broken? Maybe it's just Unity tools. Yeah. Well, if you had a really refresh button. Ugh. Sigh. Don't need this. I We all done? Unity? Too many chats. Too many chats. this not working? It's not fucking working. God damn it. Yeah, that's wrong. Kill all these things. Unity's not generating solutions properly. Reason. Some stupid ass reason, as usual. There we go. Better. Better. Fuck off. Go away. Thank you. Okay, so that's working. Yay. That's better. Wait, okay, so I was doing a thing. Okay. Okay, so what I want is I have a button, it puts a creates an instance of a prefab on screen, and I want to click the prefab, open the script editing UI, and you put in a script, and then you compile. It compiles everything, reloads the domain of the runtime, and then magic. I guess that was the magic, but magic. Okay, so the prefab is now set. Yay. Pretty sure I have code for clicking on a thing already. Pretty sure I have this somewhere on the other scene. Can't remember what we were doing anymore. Test scene. Yes. Yes. This is code for clicking on a thing, so we're good. So there's code for clicking on a thing. I just need to find out where it is. This guy? Yes. This guy. Actually, I had something on the trigger. Didn't I have something on the trigger? No, I just have this. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Copy pasting of the codes. Gonna stuff it on the trigger, I guess. Yeah, which is the thing that I'm spawning on screen right now.
Oh shit.
I don't want any of this. Okay, I'll just put it on the trigger right now. I'll just put it on the trigger right now. Even though it's just a thing that I can't remember anymore how this works. Clicked upon. Do I have to do this? Yes, I do. The left, not right. Stuff it in there. Okay. Whoa. Just once. Don't need all of this. Click the pawn. It's a good verb. Okay. When that happens, I want to show the UI for script editing. Where's my UI for script editing? Right here. Where's my UI? It's on the other scene. Right. Okay. Completely forgot. I really want this. This is the input field and a little button. I guess I can just do that here. Okay. Oh, what I want is a prefab of this thing. Also, tabs of the button. Does the button do anything to align itself properly? No. No. So the other scene. Really just want just want to figure out how the button is anchored so that I can do the same for this thing and stuff it in the UI. Okay, so the first thing that we want is an empty dude here. Go over there. Yep. Perfect. Okay. Good. And this thing does script editor compile. Goody. Okay. So the button. No, it's not. It's not the button. It's the contents prefab splitter, right? Okay, so where do I put the script window prefab? Really don't want to do this on every single object, but for now, again, simple. Actually, no, I can't do that on, I have to do this on this guy. Okay. Button spawns the trigger, and the trigger, when clicked, opens the UI. Okay, so I create a button. That means the instance I could have this prefab is a game object. It doesn't have to be a game object. It could be a specific thingy. That has a property on it that I can use to set the prefab of the window script. Ugh, I'm probably complicating this too much. So right now, trigger prefab, the trigger. Right now, this thing is the thing that I can just add a thing onto it. Oh, right there. Yep, it's right there. It's this guy. Okay. Okay. Script window. Scripts. Ugh. The hell do I want to do here? Click on trigger and then open the window. Where do I save this the prefab of the window so I can open it? I think what I need is coffee. So I think I'll be back later because my brain is just not, it's a holiday. My brain is just not working right now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.